Okay, so what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving a little bit of a story time. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I actually kind of miss doing them. It's just that I don't know really themes of what stories I should do. But last Sunday, I got a job, and this last Saturday was my first day. So that really inspired me to think back and back and back and back, a couple of years actually, and pick out one of my favorite stories from one of my last jobs. So if you guys do like this video, please leave a comment down below telling me your favorite part. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you are new, and let's get right into this video. So a couple of years ago, I believe it was 2014, I believe I was like 17, about there. Little 17-year-old Christian was getting his first job at a movie theater, and I fucking hated it. It was the worst job I think I've ever had. I've only had like three. I've had 3 jobs, but it is by far the worst. So if you are working at a movie theater, I'm sorry for you. Anyways, that's not the reason I'm here. I can bag about why. I can just destroy why I hated that job, but I'm not going to do that. That is not part of the part of the story that I'm telling right now. Today's story is going to be about something that was probably the worst of the worst when it came to movie theaters. It's one of the biggest theaters. It was one of the biggest theaters we had here. So a lot of people would go. There was days where it would get extremely fucking busy. I remember it was the day that, no, it wasn't the day. It was a week after, what is it called? Jurassic World came out. So one of the biggest movies we released this year. When I worked at the movie theater, I was bored shitless. There was never really anything interesting that went on besides one time me and my manager were there standing at the podium where you give them your tickets and they're like that way, and then you go that way and you come back and complain to us. And we saw this lady go in with a really big stomach, and when she came back out, she didn't have that stomach anymore. So it looked like she was pregnant at first, but then we realized she was sneaking in things, and me and my manager looked at each other like, what are we gonna do? And the manager looks back at me and he's like, just let it happen. It's all good. So I was like, fuck it. Anyways, when that movie came out, it was played in all of the biggest theaters that we had, and those theaters would fill up pretty quick. It was just me, my friend Eddie. It was me and him standing at the podium in front of the movie theater, and this lady comes up to us, and we're just there chilling. She comes up to us and she's like, hey, over there in that theater, you might want to go check it out. I saw this kid's fucking ass cheeks from in between the theaters. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, in my head, I am dying. I am laughing my ass off, and Eddie just looks at me and he's like, do we go check it out? Obviously he didn't say it out loud because he knows we are the ones that have to go and help him out, or help her out. She's going that way, walking us towards the theater, and Eddie and I are just looking at each other like, holy shit, are we about to see this? So we walk into the theater, lights off, one of the biggest movie releases that we've had, almost packed theater except for the front rows. Me and Eddie walk in following the lady, and we see a foot on the floor, 2 feet actually. And in my head, I'm laughing. Like, I'm a kid working at a movie theater that's never seen shit, and all of a sudden someone's throwing this at me. So me and Eddie walk up to the kids, and there's 2 kids dead ass fucking in the front of the theater. Like, not even trying to hide it. They were having sex on the floor of the theater. Like, you know that seat where you're like this and you don't ever want to sit there? That's where they were. So they planned that shit out ahead of time. They're like, hey, we can fuck. I know where, I know how. So we go up to these kids, and my friend Eddie and I are standing right next to each other with our arms crossed, and Eddie's like, and this kid looks up at us, pulls out, starts freaking out because their underwear, the freaking theater is like this long, their underwear is over here, and they're having sex over here. So they're nowhere near their clothes. That's like the worst part. I don't even think it's legal to see what I saw. I saw 2 kids having sex, and I'll give the age right now. I don't know their names, so it's not like I'm disclosing anything important. We're like, we call up our manager on the walkie-talkies, and we're like, hey, there's these 2 kids having sex over here. What do we do? 2 of the managers walk in, and they go in, and he says, come with me. So the kids get up, getting dressed. They're walked out by the manager. So we're following behind them so to make sure they don't do anything. So the manager walked away for a little bit, and he left us with the 2 kids. So those 2 people were standing against the wall, and me and Eddie were just like, we were dead staring at the kids that were just caught having sex in our theater on the floor. We waited about 2-3 minutes of awkward silence, just staring at the kids. They just didn't say anything. I think the girl was crying, and that, made me feel bad, but not really, because like, you did that to yourself. The manager comes back. He opens the door that we're standing next to, because it was one of the theaters on the furthest side of the theaters. There's an exit door right there. So he opens the door, and seriously, I see him open the door, look out, and go like this at the cops. What the fuck does this mean? Do those cops and that manager have a secret sign for when two people are having sex? Just, I had no idea what that was, and after that I was dead laughing. You don't expect this to be freaking thrown out of your exit door. And then the two cops walk in and they're talking to the little kids or whatever. They're asking like all these questions, and their age was one of them. The kids were 13 and 14. The older boy was 14, the girl was 13. I didn't even look at girls when I was 13. That's when I first knew like girls existed, and these kids were already having sex in a theater. And I was just like, why? What was the point? Every place you could have done it, a theater. Especially on the most busy theater. And I don't remember what happened to those kids right after. I think they were banned from our theater for a small period of time, I think. And the kids had to wait there until their parents were called. Me and my friend Eddie, we got sent on break right after that, and we were just staring at each other for like 5 minutes. Our breaks were 30 minutes, but my friend Eddie got called out like 20 minutes later to go talk to the managers and the police, and I'm assuming the parents were there at that point. That's the end of the story. Like, that's as much as I feel like I can tell you. Moral of the story is, if you're gonna have sex in a theater, do it in like Pets or like a movie like Sing. No, do not do it in Sing. That's a kid's movie. That is like the worst idea. Do it in like a movie that you know has like a 30 or like a 20 on Rotten Tomatoes, and no one's gonna go watch. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this little story. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys later. Peace.